The value of digital transformation for manufacturers lies in the agility and culture of continuous improvement that it enables. The further removed the development of a solution is from its end users, the longer it takes to build and adjust the solution so that it meets changing users' needs. With traditional approaches being rigid and top-down, projects are disruptive to implement, difficult to update, and take years to get off the ground and show value. According to Gartner, a citizen developer is a user who creates new business applications for consumption by others using development and runtime environments sanctioned by corporate IT. Today, you'll join over 700 people from all around the world to learn how next-gen manufacturers are embracing citizen development and the democratization of technology implementation to support operations. You'll also learn how next-gen manufacturers are implementing no-code platforms that empower their engineers and managers to build powerful, rapid-build apps that solve problems without coding expertise. We're kicking off today with opening keynote, The Rise of the Citizen Developer. During this keynote, Tulip CEO Natan Linder will discuss why enterprise manufacturers are embracing citizen development, the benefits of democratizing technology, turning frontline engineers into citizen developers, and how it's essential to future-proofing manufacturing operations. Natan Linder is co-founder and CEO of manufacturing technology company Tulip and co-founder and chairman of Formlabs, the pioneer and industry leader in professional desktop 3D printing. Drawing from over 15 years of experience and accomplished careers at companies like Samsung, Sun Microsystems, and Rethink Robotics, Linder holds a depth of expertise in computer science, product design, and entrepreneurship. Prior to starting Tulip and Formlabs, Linder was co-founder and general manager of Samsung Electronics R&D Center in Israel, spearheading the group's innovation efforts in mobile and shipping multiple products to the global market. He served as an entrepreneur in residence at Jerusalem's Venture Partners, the leading Israeli venture capital firm. Linder holds a PhD from MIT's Media Lab's Fluid Interfaces Group and an SM in Media Arts and Sciences from MIT. Linder's work aims to fuse design and engineering to create novel human experiences. During this session and the remainder of the day, connect with us and your colleagues in the chat. Again, we are so excited to have you with us today. Welcome to Next Gen Manufacturing, the Rise of the Citizen Developer.
Welcome everyone to today's event. We're going to focus on the next gen manufacturing and how citizen developers actually come to play in operations. My name is Natan Linder. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Tulip. And this first session, my goal is to help set the stage and rise the awareness to what does it mean to be citizen developer in operation. We at Tulip have been exploring for quite a while. What does it mean to democratize technology and how to build new tech stacks that help manufacturers completely rethink their digital strategy so they can future-proof their operations. So let's jump in. So when I'm thinking about democratization in general, it basically means exposing technology and making it available to more people. And when you think about it in the context of software development, and creating applications, the history of computing actually can give us a very good a guideline to understand how we got to this point. So let's go back in time for a moment here. So what you see in the picture is the IBM Type 704 in 1957. This is a computer the size of a room, the first mass-produced computer. It was very complex, very few people can program it, and it used computer languages like Fortran and Lisp. These are languages that we actually use today, and they're much closer to human languages, but they're still, very difficult to use. if you fast forward to about 10 years later, this was the first affordable mainframe made by a Digital Equipment Corporation, and they made thousands of these computers. And so a community of developers went from tens to hundreds and then to thousands. So it's a big jump in who had access to the ability to program computers. And of course, then came about 10 years later, the PC revolution, and companies like Commodore and Apple have created the personal computer. And now everybody could build an application, a game, and basically the hacker culture has arrived. And that's great. And now we're talking about millions of people who are writing software. And again, and I think this would be very obvious for our audience here. The internet came along, and I love this picture and the sticker that says, "Don't power this down." This is the first server that powered the internet. And basically what the internet did is make everyone a publisher. If you had a text editor, now you're going from audience of thousands to millions. And finally, smartphones came along and led the way, and basically have turned applications into the main interface for our lives and our work, and we kind of take it for granted today. We live in a world that is driven by applications, and the proliferation of applications required that we have a lot more people who write software, whether it's for consumer purposes or business. And this is the entry point to where no code and citizen development, actually the discussion of citizen development, can begin. And no code and low code platforms have been around for a very long time, and fundamentally they were built for engineers and IT folks to save time and money, because software development is very, very expensive. And as this phenomena of no code evolved, and of course today there are so many different tools that start utilizing no code, we're seeing a trend where no code becomes essential to keep up with the pace of business needs, and becomes effectively an essential part of the tech stack that people use. So you can see some examples here. So you can see designers using Figma to create interactive applications. Web developer might use Webflow to design, develop, publish dynamic websites. System administrators might use Retool to create internal tools. But the key thing that is shared among all these very specific vertical types of no code is that they can be used by people who are not necessarily software developers. And so that puts us solidly in this era of no code. And this is not going away, and it's changing how software is being created and iterated on. We have to think about it in the context of OT. And this is a question we are considering almost every day at Tulip, obviously because this is the product we're building. But before we dive into to it and how we think about it, it's important to mention that even in the OT context, this is not entirely new. About 20 years ago, there were tools like Wonderware, for example, that paved the way and created a new class of HMIs that were able to be built in a drag and drop fashion and a controlled PLC. But that generation of no code for OT has been PC centric, and that just doesn't cut it anymore in the world of operation. And we have entered the age of cloud computing, and that is changing how we work with technology and how we are assuming network connectivity and services as a given. And we have to build tech stack that take that into consideration. So let's talk about that for a little bit. The first thing when we want to consider no code for operation, we have to think who is this for? And it turns out that about 20% of the global workforce are actually frontline operation workers that are fundamentally, deskless, and they do different kind of things, whether it's assembly on shop floors or maintenance in some remanufacturing environments, or quality control, inspections, audit, and these are people who require data as much as any other knowledge worker, and they need to have the best tool to get this kind of data and act on it to help their operations stay competitive. And when you think about this entry point for the problem, and you look at what we had to date, and we've all seen these environments, and we know they're very physical in nature and include work cells and sensors and benches and conveyor belts and machines and potentially back-end systems and warehouses, and that is by definition a complex physical and digital environment. And the old way of doing things, which is typically employing MES-centric approaches that are siloed and rely on static data models, basically is slow, obsolete, and expensive. And no-code represents an opportunity to do that much better, both on the cost curves and the time you need to spend to implement such system. But most importantly, it takes your people along for this ride of digital transformation and allows people to do this themselves, bottom up, but without sacrificing control and governance of the enterprise. And I'll touch on that in a little bit. But when you put those two trends together, it's kind of interesting to examine two things. One is that one of the key reasons that Gartner recently published as one of the leading reasons people invest in MESs, which is extremely important, is improving the ability of employees to make decision and their competency. So in fact, upskilling people. This means that organizations invest in digital systems for the same exact reasons that we're excited about no code, because it allows people to take ownership of the tools, the data, the workflow that they're generating, and in fact become knowledge worker. At the same time, we see strong prediction where no code tools are expected to grow by 30%, and we've already seen that. So far, I think this was good background, but let me give you a quick example here. What you're seeing here first on the right is our application library, and it's a collection of several apps built on best practices and use cases that we've seen by our customers. And you're able to kind of teach yourself about the specific use cases and browse it around. But when engineers, for example, want to find a specific solution, and here what I'm sharing is a pack and ship module that you might see at end of line, and with a click of a button you can just download this application. But this application is not just designed for just a person sitting behind a desk. If you want to build a prep to ship station, you might need to scan a barcode, you might need to connect to a scale and print a label. And this type of no-code application allows you to pretty much configure the logic that come pre-wired and configure the UI that comes more or less ready to go to your specific operation and to your specific equipment. All of that without needing to think about writing a single line of code or doing anything around system integration or worrying about the drivers for the printers. And that is a major game changer to how no code can come to play in operations. So when we are talking to our customers, we found through hundreds and hundreds of conversation, 7 recurring themes and what people actually expect from the no code systems. And I want to kind of summarize it here for y'all. Number one, people expect ease of use. So building applications should be easy as building PowerPoint. Number two, people and our customers expect that systems would be open, easy to connect, whether it's to backend systems, legacy MES systems, ERPs, web services, and keep it open and based on existing standards and protocols. The days of walled gardens are basically gone. Then operational environments, consume analytics, and of course there's wonderful BI tools, and those are very important. But what's important for OT environments is to get answers quickly and in real time. And that's why OT no code tools should include elements of analytics to help understand what's actually is happening with the data that apps are collecting. Then all of that doesn't mean that our customers and organizations should think about sacrificing control or give it up. Compliance, including adherence to standard, whether it's GXP or ISO, are critical and should be supported. Then content is something that should be shared immediately. It should allow people to self-learn as much as possible and facilitate customization, because otherwise you're not getting the benefit of seeing what different engineers are doing and kind of doing what we've seen work very well in open source, where you can grab something that somebody else did, remix it, reshare it, and basically speed up the cycles. This is obviously required to have a community, which we are here to set up, and we're all excited to have you here and join our community. And I'll show you how to join a little bit later. But you know, community is we believe is critical for the success of no-code strategies. And then finally, and I kind of mentioned already, is like to have a true sense of connecting the digital world and the physical world, and take into account how the edge data collection equipment talks to the sensor, talks to the machine, and also takes into account the human that is doing a very analog process and needs to ship stuff to a physical warehouse location, for example. What would be the impact of all this? Well, it's kind of simple. It's going to change the landscape, and this is why I chose this picture of 13-mile wide crater in Chad. It's going to hit fast, and it's going to leave a huge mark. And I think I want to share a little bit of how we're seeing it through our numbers. So in the last 12 months, what we've seen is our customers build over 18,000 applications to do all sorts of things in their operation. But what's more exciting is that these applications generated more than 50 million data points of tracked processes. This is data that before was unobtainable, and is really, really important for our customers to operate their business. So that's very exciting to us. But to me, and this is a little bit of a personal, personal thing, because I've been spending a lot of time thinking how to take the world of lean to the next level. And I'm a huge fan of Taichi Ono, who was an industrial engineer and the creator of the Toyota production system. And I love this quote where he talks about the Toyota style that really does not assume any limit to human creativity. And I believe that's the same thing that no code is unleashing. And like we, much like Taichi Ono, want to have our customers come to work, but we don't want them just to work. We want them to think, and basically want to give them the best tools to achieve that. And so if I summarize what I've covered today, the impact of this, again, adopting no code and promoting citizen development in operation will give faster iteration, faster change, so more resilience as market changes. It will help improve quality, help improve productivity. If you adopt no code and your workforce become empowered with no code, it will be more engaged. The benefits of a more engaged workforce are well known. It spans increased retention, more job satisfaction, productivity, and so on. But the basic thing, and I can tell you my own experience as an engineer, is that once you build something, you really care about it, and you have a sense of ownership. And finally, and very important, and this has been a widely discussed topic, is I think this approach for no code in operation would bring IT and OT together, and this time for real, because we are basically providing the glue between the IT and OT. So now I want to talk about 3 quick predictions that kind of lay the ground where this is going next, and then we'll summarize and move through the rest of this very exciting day. Number 1, we think that companies that embrace no code will basically remain competitive. Number two, the actual use of no code will disappear as a term, and it will become the way we get things done, and we won't think about it anymore. And number three, in the very near term, artificial intelligence will enable citizen developers. It will help using the data that no-code tools can collect. You can basically help people create better applications, make better data visualizations, help optimize the shop floor and the processes, and in fact, help augment the skills of a human. Okay, let's discuss what's next and what's ahead of us today. So we have a pretty exciting agenda. Today, we'll explore all the topics of citizen development and no code. And we'll have a couple panels coming up where we'll hear leading manufacturing leaders from companies like Stanley Black & Decker, Terex, Sequence, Rich Brilliant Willing, Amazon, discuss how they moved their operation and democratized their tech stack to grow citizen developer movement. We'll be showing you all a very extensive demo of the Tulip no code platform. And one thing I'm very excited about is the Groundbreakers Award, where we will recognize really folks who've been doing amazing work and surprising us and building things we never imagined that people will build with no code in operations. And stay tuned for that. Pretty cool things that they're building. And then finally, we'll have roundtables with answering and discussing common trends around manufacturing in the manufacturing tech stack in the cloud, and common questions around that, especially around GXP environment. So with that, as I promised, here's a little bit more. I want to plug quickly how can you learn more and join the conversation. We are working hard to extend our community. As I mentioned earlier, building community is critical. And we're hoping you join us in any one of these venues, whether it's our own community, Tulip University, where you can learn and get free courses and see for yourself if no code is right for you. So I want to thank you very much for tuning in today. And yeah, please join us and share your experience. And we'll see you all very soon. Thank you all very much.